My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Sagittarius. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing your general love reading 5-card spread. But before I do that, I want to offer these 12 red roses as a token of my love and appreciation for you all for supporting me, your love and devotion towards my channel. I love you guys so very much, and thank you so much for joining me today. So, this 5-card love reading includes how the first card represents you, the second, the other person, the third, the relationship, fourth, the past, fifth, the future. Then I'm going to draw a Vampire Oracle for you, and then a Favoli, and then one card from the French deck of Le Tarot Interdit Vampiria. Now let's get started with card number 1 for you. 5 of Wands. Okay, this is kind of a bit of a mixed combinations kind of card. Yeah, because on one aspect it's competition, beautiful. On the other side, it's conflict. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of getting, especially, for the ones who are in a single, but this could also always apply for the ones in a long-lasting committed relationship in your current times. But, you could be suffering from maybe, having your eyes and love, interest towards somebody that you have competition with other people with. Maybe other people are also drawn towards the same person that you have your eyes currently on. But I'm also I'm also sensing that you're suffering from internal conflict as well. Well, I still have to look at the other. It is a general reading, so take it how it resonates. If you don't feel like any of those apply, please feel free to ignore this video or maybe even look at some of your other placements for that matter. But yeah, for the ones in a current relationship, you could be suffering from some kind of conflict. Maybe, it's a real negative experience in the time being. Maybe you suffer from some kind of competition, hopefully not against your current spouse, your lover, your companion, who you're currently with, but because normally with the wands it's more about sparring. And sparring is not really the actual battle, it's more like the rehearsal or the practice session. But yeah, I want to look into this love reading and look at the other cards for a moment. You could be with the King of Wands. Leo. You know what I'm also getting? For the ones who are single and have competition, you could have your eyes on this male or female Leo of whoever it may be. Very beautiful. It's like how, well, fire signs are attracted to each other. It's like very beautiful and passionate in other ways. But it could also be that you're currently with a Leo and that's who you have, conflicts with and problems, or maybe either way. But, of course, you could also have Leo placements, even from the 5 of Wands or the King of Wands for that matter as well. But maybe you have your eyes on this Leo individual and that's kind of causing you internal conflicts as well. Because maybe, it's like you're just wondering, oh goodness, there's just too much competition. I don't think I'll ever be able to achieve any kind of relationship or connection with this King of Wands person as well. Because the relationship, Queen of Swords, and that's pretty much about feeling incredibly determined, ambitious, and goal-oriented, and saying this is exactly the direction we're heading towards. This one thought came into my mind. Are you heading down towards this determined relationship, but yet you feel like that's kind of a bit of a complicated matter? Because, it's like, let's say that you are heading down towards this relationship, but you have internal conflict within you about heading towards this King of Wands individual. Because why would you be having internal conflicts about heading towards a fellow fire sign? What you and Leo have in common is you're both hunters and huntresses. You guys are very passionate, fiery, and ambitious, and strong and confident in your own ways, but you're still sharing the same element. Well, either way, it's like, but what I'm also getting here is you could also be heading down towards this potential breakup or divorce as well. And maybe this is, your current time of actually having a bit of a sparring session, regarding, this upcoming divorce or breakup of whatever it may take and stuff like that. Or you could also have Aquarius, Libra, Gemini placements as well. Because in the past, 3 of Pentacles. And it could have been a love triangle. It could have been definitely competition, that took place in the past and stuff like that. And maybe that's why, you're kind of just thinking, okay, I'll do anything it takes just to be with this person and stuff like that, because you are incredibly determined, ambitious, and goal-oriented. But yet, it's like with the Three of Pentacles, it's like a collaborations kind of card. You guys could be really good friends with each other. But yeah, you could also just, have internal struggles, because sometimes when you're friends with each other, you're pretty much struggling because you don't want to turn it into a romantic affair, because sometimes that could also turn into a real complicated matter. Because let's say you guys are really good colleagues. They always say never have any romantic engagements at work. It usually does still happen either way. But if you're sensing, that there's just something, that's just kind of holding you back, even though you are determined to know which direction you're heading towards, but then there's still this conflict and competition as well. You might really want to look into this whole situation. Because in the future, you get Hanged Man, Pisces energy. You could be with a Pisces, you could have Pisces placements. But what I'm getting here is, you're doing a lot of introspection. And that's actually a really good thing to do. Because, if you're struggling and suffering right now regarding the Five of Wands, because, there's something that is kind of holding you back and stuff like that. You could also have Leo placements, but the thing is, yeah, it would be good to process this whole love interest, perhaps. Maybe this potential engagement, maybe this affair of some kind, because the thing is you want to make sure that's not going to cause any kind of actual problems in your future as well. Because, it's like, let's say that you're in love with a coworker. I'm sure, that person is probably very loving, caring, supportive, and very hardworking and determined in their own way. And maybe they share the same feelings, beliefs, and values, and that's what draws a lot of people towards each other and end up becoming one of the best relationships ever. But if there is some kind of conflict, that's holding you back, you might really want to look into making sure that there's no work-related love interests and stuff like that as well. And if there is some kind of competition, that could be taking place, because, this is where you're pretty much putting in a lot of hard work and effort to try to get acknowledged by this person who could have his or her eyes on you. This would be actually a good time to do a lot of self-reflection on the whole process in the future. But hopefully you're in a long-lasting committed relationship, but I feel like that the same applies if you feel like that you need to break up or divorce from this person. I would do whatever, feels, like the best move to make and stuff like that. And not ever feel like that you should always compromise your own personal well-being in other ways. Because the Oracle wants to say Maenad. Madness, ecstatic ritual, and energy release. So I would do whatever it takes. If you have to do ecstatic rituals, do whatever it takes. If you have to do any kind of like energy release, that's what I also see you doing, as introspection, self-reflection on releasing, any kind of energy for clarification and clarity. But I could sense, like any kind of internal conflict could cause one to go into a bit of a madness of thinking, goodness, it's like this hunger you're trying to, or this thirst you're trying to quench, or you're trying to satisfy your hunger and stuff like that. That could drive anybody into this uncertainty and stuff. Well, you'll want to look into this, my beloved Sagittarius. Because Favole wants to add, Nine of Wands, actually. I was looking, and actually the masks are the wands, and the crosses are actually the pentacles. So what I'm getting here is Nine of Wands, of not giving up, exhausted beyond belief, but no, whatever worth having doesn't come easy. So if there is some kind of competition, eventually, as long as you keep at it, you'll be in a strong and confident position, maybe meeting this person someday. But either way, it's like sometimes relationships require a lot of hard work and energy, so whatever worth having doesn't come easy, but as long as you keep at it. Regarding the Knight of Wands, you'll be in a confident, passionate, strong position for being the hunter and huntress as you are. Okay, I'm going to finish off with French Tarot deck. Ah, see, d'argent. Okay, the Six of Pentacles, give and take kind of situation. Yeah, I do see some kind of, maybe you do have to release something, maybe you will receive something, but that's where the Nine of Wands is mostly guiding you, is wherever, which direction it may take you. You know, you might receive, you know, the acknowledgement from this person, or maybe you'll have to release, you know, this whole idea of ever being with that person, because if it is like a co-worker type of person, it's most likely not going to end well in other ways and stuff like that. So, but either way, this is, you know, a good time to do some introspection within yourself to make sure that's who you really want to be with. And if you do have to release this idea, daydream feeling, you know, sensation and stuff like that, that's what the Six of Pentacles is also, you know, expressing in this love reading for today. Okay. Well, my beautiful, amazing Sagittarius, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now. But if this reading resonated for you, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. In a few days, I'm going back to general readings. I'm not so sure how I'm going to do it next time. But either way, please feel free to stay tuned. I'm going to be providing more bedtime stories about other, you know, vampire tales and histories and stuff like that. So if you're interested, please feel free to subscribe either way. But I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. I love you guys incredibly. If you guys want a personal reading, all you have to do is subscribe to this channel, post in the little discussion box below that you want a personal reading from me, and I'll respond to you with my email. But otherwise, I love you guys, and best of luck on where this journey may take you.